So basically, we're here today just to talk about our story. So my name's Aric Assumption. The process now is that I'm going through the U of M treatment center to try to find me a kidney transplant, a donor. So the day that I started looking for a kidney is the day that we started the video, actually. As soon as we did the video, we ended me searching for a kidney and doing all the research I can to find out how I could get that kidney. My regimen will always stay the same, where I wake up in the morning at 4:30, I get to dialysis at 5, get done at 9:30 or 10 o'clock, depends on how the run goes. This is the wonderful staff I've worked with for how many years already? What?
I've been here almost a year.
A year and 3 months now, I think?
Yep.
So, that's Ima.
We want you to make it
And that's Audra.
back. Hi.
Like I said, there's good days and there are bad days, but yet I will go from the dialysis right away to work to report in, and I push through work. I could have really bad days at work, and I have the support of my coworkers. When they see that I'm fatigued, they let me take a break, and I continue doing my job. I time out, I go home, I relax, and then I go right to the gym. You kind of want to give up sometimes. I've seen people like break down and say, I don't want to do this anymore. They get unplugged from the machine and they leave. I wasn't going to be one of those guys. My triple bypass, the stages where we had to go through all that, all the stuff within that year and a half where you were constantly getting blood draws, going to doctor's appointments, and then you think you're ahead of something, and then all of a sudden the doctors give you this information and they take you back down saying that you need to do this, you need to do that. The big one was the triple bypass, when they found something in my echo and my stress test. You know, you have to keep on doing all your due diligence and do what the doctor asks you to do, and make sure that your heart is strong for it and your mind is strong for it. For a while there, I wasn't. My mind went to dark places. I felt alone, and it's scary. My brother was like, you're not going to be a quitter, you're an Assumption. Your dad's doing it the same way. We're both fighting at the same time. You guys are sitting in the same chair. Dad could do it, you could do it. And with my father, ultimately, he is my hero, because I can't see another guy that fights the way that he fought and he is fighting, where I am doing the same thing now, because I'm going to continue doing that. Because if he's doing it, I could do it. And I think that's my power of where I get where I want to fight. And then I also have a little girl that my brother has blessed me with, my niece, and she's my light. So, I mean, that in itself gives me that motivation, that fight to keep going. I'm just counting down the days. Emily came and posted a nice little post on Facebook announcing that I needed a kidney still, and they were researching one for me, actually.
And I think the one thing about the post that caught my attention was that you were looking for somebody with an O blood type. That made me think, hey, I think I am an O blood type. And so then I clicked on the link that was next to the video and was filling out the form. And I got down to your name, I got it, and then it asked for your birthday. And I was like, oh no. So then I was on my lunch break and messaged you asking what your birthday was. And I filled out a form. You have to answer some health questions, and then that will kind of weed you out right away if you don't qualify. But if you pass that round, then you go on to an 8-hour day of testing. So there's psychological testing. You do an interview, with the social worker, with the surgeon, with the nephrologist, and then they take a lot of blood, so many tubes. There's probably like 20, but it was fine. And then you have x-rays, they do a CT scan, and you have to drink a lot of water, so you give a lot of urine, and then you leave hoping for the best. And then they get all the results. It takes about a week. And the donor team then decides, based on your results, if this is a good decision or not, and if they're going to proceed. And so then they will give you a call and say, yep, we're going to proceed, or no. So I have a blood condition, and I researched before I even applied to see if that condition would stop me from donating a kidney or disqualify me, and everything that I had read said, nope, you're fine, it should be good. So I continued on the process, and then we went through a few steps, and they met with a nephrologist and had a consult with a hematologist from Health. And that quick little consult, without even meeting me or knowing my history or any of my lab levels, that's what really bothered me, is they denied me initially without really getting to know me, getting to know my story, my history. And so after the nurse gave us that initial, no, we're not going to proceed with donation at that time, like it hit us both really hard. And so we were kind of plotting and planning of like, what are we going to do next?
When we first got denied, I was really just, I don't know what happened to me. I went through a little downward spiral a little bit because there was so much hope. But knowing you and knowing the resiliency that you have, I was like not giving up. And when you told me you were going to continue on trying to find a way to get this to happen, gears in my head were just turning to find out what we could do.
I messaged my personal hematologist and said, you know me, this is our plan. I was thinking of donating a kidney to a friend, and would this affect my blood disorder and my labs? What do you think? Because I trust your opinion. And he said, I think it would be okay, and gave some facts. And so I screenshot that and sent it to the donor team and was like, okay, my personal hematologist is saying exactly the opposite of what you're saying to deny me. And I said, can we consult further? Can we open this up again? And then we got the call like, yep, okay, we're gonna open this back up. You can proceed with the testing, but we want you to meet with a hematologist either before or after the full day of testing. And so that was like one of the happiest moments. I actually gave the hematologist a big hug and I said, thank you. And he reviewed thoroughly my entire chart. They spent a good hour talking with me and looking over things. And he said, I want to make this happen for you guys. And so he went back to his board of hematologists and spoke with a lot of people who have a lot of experience. He really did his due diligence to make sure that it was going to be safe for me, because he said that was what he was just, making sure of. He understood how important it was, but he wanted to make sure it was safe. And so he came back and we had a phone call and he's like, I think we can make this happen. I'm going to put my stamp of approval on it and send it to the donor team. And so after that conversation, I just remember like breaking down and being so happy. I did 8 hours of testing, and every step along the way, like the person who initially drew my labs was like, I was wearing a faith t-shirt and a cross necklace, and she started talking about faith, and she said she was gonna pray for us and pray over the labs and all sorts of stuff. And so in every step of the way, it just kept getting like more positive feedback, and like it just worked out. And so once they decide that, yes, you're able to do a donor, then they take tissue samples. So both Aric and I had to do cheek swabs And then they do further testing to see if you have antibodies and
Tissue
antigens. Yeah, the tissue matching. And that actually takes a little while to do. And so we're a good match, but based on the sizes and other things that they do, we just thought maybe we would find a little bit better one, and we did. Oh, we have surgery on the same day. I have to be there at 5:30 in the morning.
I know.
So mine will be done first, and then you are gonna have yours.
9:45. I think that's when it is, and it's a 6-hour surgery.
Yep, mine is a 4-hour surgery. And then, and actually my kidney will be flown out to California.
That brings us to the paired exchange.
Yeah. And
Talk about that a little bit.
Eric's kidney will be coming from North Carolina. And so we are compatible. I am O blood type, and we did all the antigen testing, but there's a bit of a size difference. And so we decided to do paired exchange just to see if we could find Aric a little bit better kidney, one that would match better, because if you find a better match, then you don't have to be on as many anti-rejection medications. But we also made a deal that if this paired exchange was gonna take too long, that we would just do it ourselves. So I would give Aric my kidney and we would just do that. And what did we set as the date?
90 days.
90 days.
And what happened?
And so once we got on the paired exchange list, it was like 1 week,
One
was
week,
it?
5 days.
1 week. And then we found matches. I guess all 4 parties had until 3 p.m. that day to say yes or no. And then we got the call around 3 saying, yep, here's your tentative surgery date. All is good. And so we were like, oh my gosh, it's really happening. And that was really exciting.
A lot of people don't like Facebook and Instagram, but it was the only way to get my story out there. And to that, I appreciate the people that shared that video, because if it wasn't for somebody to post anything, look at, I've never thought. The road was long. I guess this road that's after the surgery is going to even be longer. I think we're going to have a long, long friendship, and I'm happy that you're going on for the ride, because no, I would not have anybody else to go around with the ride with me.
It is time.